This is incredible. Cableguys have come up with something that I've not seen before, but it seems kind of like an obvious thing. And that's Snapback. What it does is add a bit of transient to any percussion sound, or it can add a bit of sustain. So let's take a quick look at how it works. So what we've got here is a basic clap loop like this. So I'm going to bring in Snapback, and we're going to click here, small clap 2. So what it's doing is it's adding a bit of sample in front of the loop. Let's try another preset. We'll try bright clap. So what we're going to do is switch this off and listen to the song without Snapback and then with Snapback. This is without. And this is with. So I think that's pretty cool, but the other thing about it is you might think it's just a bit too much, but you've got lots of control over what you can do with that pre-sample. So for example, we can reduce the decay. We can reduce or increase the pitch. We can reduce the volume. And the thing is, there's this visual feedback, so you can actually see what's going on. What I really like is you can also increase or decrease the low pass or high pass, and the visual feedback's always there. In addition to that, you also have the transient section. So we'll switch Snapback off, but just leave the transient section on. What that does is either add body or weight to the sample, or it adds an extra transient. So for example, here we'll add snare sizzling bits to the loop. Once again, we could just reduce the volume. So you have total control over the transient, but you can also add a bit of extra body to the sound. So for example, we can add a future snare. Let's increase our volume so we can hear it. Keep going and listening to some more of these presets. So you can hear that it's adding a little bit more volume to those claps. What we can do now is hear how it sounds on kick. So let's add Snapback to this kick loop, and we'll just go into the transient section. What we're going to do is add some kick attack here. We'll call this tick. So you've got this extra little tick that comes through, this transient. It's too much, reduce the volume. It's so simple. The other thing we could do is add some body to the kick. Hard body like this. Once again, reduce the volume and adjust it to however you need. We can choose any of these different transient types. This one here, for example, sounds cool. The other thing you could do is bring in any of your own samples. So for example, say I wanted to bring in this percussion sound, I can actually bring that into Snapback and it'll just add it to the transient. So just take a listen to this. Obviously, it depends on what you put in, but for example, we can modify the way this sounds. So take a listen to this now. The other thing that's super cool is you can also automate the Snapback pitch, or basically anything. For example, automate the decay. Just click on decay here. Immediately, you'll see the automation that's available. So we can actually increase the decay over time. It may not sound great, but just to really demonstrate how it sounds. And you can see there, it's being automated. In addition to that, you can save your preset. So say I like this one, for example, I can go ahead and save the preset, click on save there, give it a name, like call it weird. And there you go. It's added to my own preset library. There's also actual other presets that come with the system, most of them being very useful, and you can sync. So whenever there's an update to all the presets, it will look for the preset library and sync it back. How does that sound? Sounds good.